What's happening, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully, everybody out there is having a fantastic day. We're going to talk about the new Terra Luna coin. At least we think it's coming, right? Because the proposal tells us that right around 63% have voted yes on creating a new Terra chain without the algorithmic stablecoin UST, which, as we all know by now, was the big driving force in collapsing the ecosystem. Now, the old chain will still be called Terra Classic. The new chain will be called Terra Token. We're going to talk about that in this video, where we are in terms of the voting, when it ends, and also the revival plan. We're going to jump into that a little bit more. And also, I'm going to provide you some insight on where I think this thing could be going if this proposal gets pushed through. So before we jump in, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be right back. Welcome again to Constant Growth. Okay, welcome back, and we're going to take a look at the proposal right here. We'll zoom in a little bit. So the Terra Builders Alliance rebirth of the Terra network. This was submitted 4 days ago. Again, it's to create a new Terra chain without the UST algorithmic stablecoin. Now, the old chain will still be here. It'll be called Terra Classic, similar to what happened with Ethereum, right? And then the new chain will be called Terra Token Luna, similar to what it is today and how we know it. Now, Luna will be airdropped across Luna Classic stakers, Luna Classic holders, and residual UST holders, and essential app developers of Terra Classic. So, in terms of this proposal, here is where we are. 242 million people have voted thus far. Right around 63% have said yes. Very little have said no. And then 20% abstain here. That's about 48, 49 million here. And then no with veto, about 17% of the people have said no with veto. So if we jump into the actual proposal itself, it says here the motivation behind it, and this is coming right from Quan. While UST has been the central narrative of Terra's growth story over the last year, the distribution of UST has led to the development of one of the strongest developer ecosystems in all of crypto. The Terra ecosystem and its community are worth preserving. Terra's app ecosystem contains hundreds of developers working on everything from DeFi to fungible labor markets, state-of-the-art infrastructure, and community experience. The UST peg failure is Terra's DAO hack moment, but there's a chance to rise up anew from the ashes. And I do think this will be successful if it goes through, especially at the launch, right? Now, will it be able to be sustained? That is going to be, what happens with their utility, right? A lot of that will come down to what happens with their utility. Now, we have seen Terra on a tear here in the last day. We could see it was down here in the 10 range, popped all the way up here to the 21 range. It has since dialed back a little bit here this morning as people are waking up and realizing that they're up on their money. They are starting to drip profits. Again, this is a swing trader's dream right now in terms of the current Terra Luna that is still buyable, tradable, sellable, and what have you. So again, I think people are waking up and saying, oh my goodness, look at that. I've doubled my money. I'm out, right? But in terms of the new chain that will launch, if this proposal goes through, I do think it has a chance to be a really good launch because there are a lot of people in the ecosystem still. There are a lot of new people who have come into Terra, and they are going to want to reclaim some of the tokens and money that they lost during this entire debacle, right? Not to mention, there are a bunch of degens out there who just want to degen and ape into new projects and try to 10x, 20x, and what have you. Now, I don't recommend that be the strategy all the time, but if you have, what I like to do is allocate about 20% of my portfolio to degen type plays. And yeah, I might give it a shot here. Why not, right? It could be a good opportunity, and I do think it will be a good launch. Again, for the reasons I mentioned, you have an existing community who want to see this thing succeed, and now you have a large amount of people who've come into the ecosystem who look at this as another new launch meme coin type opportunity at a low price that has a chance to really skyrocket. We don't know what that starting price will look like. We have an idea. Excuse me. We have an idea of the circulating supply. It is, pretty similar to some major projects. One that comes to mind is Loopring. And shout out to Azam Austin. I watched his video here, and he talked about some of the ones with similar circulating supply. Loopring was an interesting one that he brought up, though, because it had two big pops in the price. This thing was dormant for a while, but again, you can see that circulating supply right there is 1.3 billion. So, we're looking at, an opportunity here. Let's just say it starts out at around, 1 cent, 2 cents, something like that. I do think we could see a 20, 25x at launch. Just to give you easy numbers here, I do think it's possible we could see a 20 to 25x at launch, maybe even more, given how many people are surrounding this community now, and how many people, again, want to rekindle some of those losses from them aping into Terra when it dropped the first time in the old system, if you will. So we'll see if this proposal actually goes through. We do have 3 days left on it. As you can see here, ends in 3 days. We'll continue to monitor this and keep you up to speed on the latest. So thank you all so much for stopping in. Let me know your thoughts about this down below, and I will catch you all in the next video.